this morning and welcome to a Ohio State linebacker recruiting update video here on the OHIO podcast. Do us a big favor, everybody, and smash that like button this morning. Please consider making a comment down in the comments section below if anything strikes your fancy in this video. Let's get some good back and forth action going down in that comment section below. And of course, if you haven't already, please consider liking this channel by subscribing to it and ringing that bell. It's absolutely free, costs you nothing, and it makes us feel better about what we're doing. We're so close to that 3,900 mark. We can almost taste it, and we want to make sure that we continue to grow this community. Don't forget, everybody, that this Saturday at the Ohio State Spring Game is our fan appreciation tailgate in connection with Second and Seven. Please consider coming out to the tailgate. It's our way of paying it forward and saying thank you to all of you who make the OHIO podcast channel. It is what it is, and we appreciate all of you. And this is our way of saying thank you to each and every single one of you. Please consider bringing a donation for Second and Seven. You can do so two different ways. Number one, you can bring some slightly used or new children's books to donate to their library, and or you can bring a donation, a financial donation as well, that will be put to good use at Second and Seven to fight illiteracy, childhood illiteracy here in the Midwest and beyond. We will be just short. The tailgate will be just south of the French Fieldhouse, over by the bike path there, just north of the Horseshoe. So please consider coming out, saying hi to us. We absolutely would appreciate it if indeed you decide to do that. All right, guys, let's dive right into the recruiting here. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys here and show you where we are at Ohio State in recruiting. These are our recruiting rankings here at the OHIO podcast. We do our own rankings based on 5 different criteria that you will not see anyplace else. It is an algorithm that Chris and I have developed, put together, and we're pretty proud of it, and we think it's pretty doggone accurate. And the idea is basically to say which of these guys coming in the class of 2026 have the best chance of having longevity at Ohio State and more than likely going on and playing in the NFL, as well as having a successful career at Ohio State, given the five criteria that we use. And that's what creates those rankings there on the left-hand side. Now, all that being said, I want to point out Simeon Caldwell to everybody because since we're talking about linebackers, Simeon is a safety slash linebacker. That is what Chris and I have determined. He is coming in as a safety, but we feel he's got a linebacker mentality, a linebacker body, and will probably end up more than likely, in my opinion, in the linebacker room before it's all said and done. If the coaching staff thinks this as well, that's going to change a little bit of how they focus on recruiting the linebacker position, which I will explain in this video. But the other name to keep an eye on right there is, of course, at number 7, the linebacker from Lewis Center, Ohio, CJ Santa. Glad to have him a part of this class as well. So that being said, moving on, I have got 7 guys that I think Ohio State is focused on when it comes to recruiting at the linebacker position. All right, let's concentrate on the 3 from inside the state of Ohio first. And if we're going to do that, it all starts with this guy right here, Sincere Johnson. The Cleveland, Ohio, Glenville High School native is ranked 104th nationally in the 247 composite. He's the 8th highest ranked linebacker in the country, and he's the 3rd highest ranked recruit in the state of Ohio. The 6'3", 225-pound recruit is being recruited by all the big dogs: Ohio State, Alabama, USC, Oklahoma, Oregon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. As far as his official visits are concerned, he begins his official visits in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and on May 30th, he goes to Norman, Oklahoma on June 6th, back to Columbus, Ohio on June 13th, and ends his official visits out on the West Coast in LA with USC on June 20th. If you're interested in where the experts got him. They believe that there's a better chance than not that he ends up at Ohio State. There is one crystal ball for him going to Ohio State. This is going to be a battle. He's not just automatically going to be a Buckeye, but I do feel pretty good that Sincere Johnson is the one that they are targeting. This is what I mentioned earlier, that the linebacker recruiting is kind of important here. If they feel they have two in the kitty already and he commits, I think they're done recruiting linebackers. If they think they only have one in CJ Santa and they get him, then they might take a third. That's kind of where I'm at with linebacker recruiting. So I think it has a lot to do with how well they do in the recruiting department at the safety position as well. But I think they're going to get one, if not two more, and that kind of depends on on where we're looking at. If and it depends on who commits first too. Okay, so that's kind of if you see one of the lower name guys get commit first, they're still going after Sincere. They're going to take two more. So just something to keep your eye on there. And one of those guys, I'll tell you who it's not going to be. It's not going to be Storm Klein, okay? Storm Klein committed to Texas A&M a couple weeks ago. The Strongsville, Ohio native, 6'3", 220, ranked 329th in the 247 composite nationally. Um, was considered someone who Ohio State obviously was interested in, but when it was all said and done, he decided he's going to be a Aggie. Now, I do want you all to know he is still scheduled to officially visit Ohio State on June 13th, as well as Wisconsin on May 29th. He is committed, like I said, to A&M, which he did so on April 2nd, so a week ago from this video. And he's also scheduled to visit Stanford on June 20th. So, do I think his recruitment is completely over and shut down? I don't. This is recruiting in the 21st century. You're going to keep recruiting guys even up until the day they sign. So, that being said, I don't think that necessarily his recruitment is over, but I do think it is over with Ohio State for the most part. I don't think he's going to be a Buckeye. There's one other kid from the state of Ohio that I want to mention this morning, uh, and that is Jacoby Clapper. The 6'1.5", 215-pound linebacker from uh, Cincinnati St. X there in St. Xavier High School in Cincinnati is ranked 384th nationally in the 247 composite rankings, 30th ranked highest linebacker in the country. He's a top 20 kid from Ohio, and the experts believe there's one crystal ball already in for him to go to Notre Dame. I do feel that this is going to be a battle between Notre Dame and Ohio State when it's all said and done. He does have some visits scheduled, but I look for him to be. It's either going to be Notre Dame or Ohio State. That's kind of how I look at it. There are some big time teams who have come in late to offer him as well, including the team up north. You've got Sparty, West Virginia, Louisville, Penn State, Illinois. A lot of Big Ten teams here. Tennessee. They've offered as well. Oregon offered. Of course, Oregon's basically offering anybody Ohio State is. It's kind of a little tick for tack game that they're playing with each other. But do I think Jacoby Clapper is out of question for Ohio State? I do not. I think that Ohio State's kind of coming into this a little bit more on the traditional Ohio kid build up here. I think they're kind of slow playing him a little bit, see how he develops here over the summer, the end of his junior year here, going into his senior year over summer. And if they want to put the full court blitz on him, I think they can. I personally like his film a little bit better than Storm Klein's myself, even though Storm from Ohio is ranked slightly higher than him in the composite. And I also think he plays in a much better, stronger league, which is just going to help in his development. But I do think Jacoby's someone you need to keep your eye on. If Sincere ends up not being a Buckeye, then this is the guy I think they put an absolute full court blitz on to try to get him in this class as well. but that's just my opinion. Before we jump into the next four guys from outside of the state of Ohio, let's share today's scripture verse with you. Second Corinthians chapter 5 verse 1. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. Thank goodness my name's written in the Lamb's Book of Life, because I've got a much better home to waiting me when this life's all said and done than the one I have here. Thank God for that. All right, let's move on here to talk about four guys outside the state of Ohio at the linebacking position that I think Ohio State is in on in the recruitment. Let's start with Jacob Eberhardt from St. Louis, Missouri, Kirkwood High School, 6'3", 200 pounds, ranked 398th nationally overall, according to the 247 composite. Of course, being from St. Louis, Missouri, and now that Missouri is doing much better in the SEC, now that Drinkowitz is there as head coach, Missouri seems to be the school that I think a lot of people think he's leaning towards. Ohio State has come in late here with an offer. They offered on March 24th, and don't count out Illinois as well, which is much closer to where he lives than Columbus, Ohio. They have officially offered him as well a week ago. He's unofficially visited Florida State, so he's already been down to Tallahassee. Tennessee's offered him, Penn State's offered him, Miami has offered him, USC has offered him, A&M has offered him. Pretty nice offer list for Jacob Eberhardt. Excuse me. I think his ranking is a little low, to be honest with you. He's probably a top 300 kid based off of the film that I saw. So I think he's definitely someone to keep your eye on in the Ohio State recruiting department, in my opinion. All right, moving along. We have two kids from Florida that we need to talk about now. Let's start with Bryant Junius. He's a top 500 kid, 6 foot, 200 pounds, kind of small for a linebacker. Plays linebacker for Chaminade Madonna Prep High School in Hollywood, Florida. Yep, that's a pipeline for the Buckeyes. No crystal balls yet for the young man. Schools that have offered him at this time include the big boy Ohio State, obviously, Pitt, Southern Florida, Florida State, Louisville, um, Miami, Maryland, Indiana, Auburn, Louisville, if I didn't mention them already, Liberty. So he's got some power four, power five, Power Four. Yeah, we lost the Pac-12. Power Four offers. So yeah, SMU. Forgot about that one. So Bryant is again up and coming. Plays really high level high school football there in Hollywood, Florida for Chaminade Madonna Prep, and he's definitely the one that you need to keep your eye on as well, especially if he has a really good uh, end of the junior season and a really good camp circuit this summer as well. Um, he has a he actually has a teammate too that we need to mention, and Jaden Roper, 6'1", 207 pounds. Again, Chaminade Madonna Prep High School in Hollywood, Florida. His offer list is not nearly as impressive. According to 247 Sports, he only has 7 at this time. Those power four offers that he has include Indiana and Ohio State. Now, is the Ohio State offer committable? I don't think so yet, although it does let me know that Ohio State has their eye on him. This feels like one of those things where they go down to take a look at Bryant Junius, and while they're there, Jaden Roper impresses them as well, and so they give him kind of a soft offer. So that's something to keep your eye on. But there's one more guy that I would be remiss if I didn't mention. Um, and I missed. Sorry, guys, I kind of got off here. Um, this this is Jaden Roper right here. This is Jaden. Sorry, didn't have his picture put up for you. I apologize. But there is one more guy that we need to mention here. Let's go to Buford High School in Buford, Georgia, and talk about CJ Sipley. I like this kid a lot. Now, I'm not really sure what's going on here with the rankings from 247 Sports. They've not updated their rankings So he doesn't really have a recruiting ranking history with 247 Sports. But the 6'1", 185-pound linebacker plays at Buford High School. So, yeah, and again, you should absolutely be on this 247 Sports. His offer list includes Auburn, Colorado, Florida, LSU, Miami, Michigan, Missouri, Nebraska, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Oregon, Texas, Texas A&M, USC, UCF. So some big time players here in CJ Sibley. Definitely someone that Sibley. I've been putting a P there. It's early. My apologies. Definitely someone you need to keep your eye on, everybody. Very interested in learning more about him, too. I mean, he's got pictures where he was with the Under Armour All-Star Game Elite, recruit, and no ranking from him from 247 in sports. So, um, which is very curious. Let's see what On Three has to say about him real fast here, guys. I'm very curious. I usually don't use On Three. I'm not my favorite recruiting service, to say the least, guys. But they've got him at 1,044th nationally, so not very high. They believe he's a 3-star, and he's the 78th ranked, highest ranked linebacker in the country according to On3. So that would be why he doesn't have a composite in the 247 Sports. They haven't ranked him yet. However, they should. They should. This is an up and coming kid. That seems incredibly bad ranking for me. They need to update that. He's pretty good. So those are the four guys outside the state of Ohio that I think you need to keep your eye on. So looking at the list here overall, guys, we've got one in the kitty already, in CJ Santa from Lewis Center, Ohio. I feel pretty good about Sincere Johnson. I got him in the green. I think there's a better than 50% chance we get him. I do not feel good about Storm Miller, who again is already committed to Texas A&M. So I kind of put him under the 50% mark. He's out of here. And then I think that Jacoby Clapper is not out of the question yet, despite the fact he's got a crystal ball for Notre Dame. I don't think he's out of the question yet. And then you've got the four guys from outside the state of Ohio: Jacob Eberhardt, Bryant Junius, Jaden Roper, and CJ Sibley or Sibley. I believe they're if they don't get Sincere Johnson, they are going to put a full court blitz on Jacoby Clapper and one of these four guys from outside the state of Ohio. If they get Sincere Johnson, then they might grab one of these other guys if they feel like they need to get a third. If indeed they don't move, if indeed they don't move Simeon Caldwell from safety to linebacker. So that's my prediction. That's what I think is going to happen here. I'm really excited for Sincere Johnson. He was one of the top 5 recruits from the state of Ohio that I said was a must get for Ohio State. So far, Ohio State has landed 3 out of those top 5. He's another one of those guys that I feel they need to get. You need to keep that pipeline in Glenville flowing from Cleveland down I-71 to Columbus, Ohio, baby. You got to do that. I feel good about Sincere. I think they can get him. That would be a huge get. He would definitely be the best linebacker in this class for the Buckeyes next to Santa. And if they get Clapper, then I think that's the that is the chef's kiss. That is a 3 for 3, well done, um, James Laurinaitis, on your recruiting. And all 3 kids too would be from the state of Ohio, which you know how I feel about that. If Clapper ends up going to Notre Dame and they get Sincere Johnson, and Simeon Caldwell ends up moving to the linebacker room, they think he's going to be a linebacker. That's it. I think they shut it down right there. It would be Santa, Caldwell, and Johnson. Those would be your linebackers. But that depends also, again, like I said, how many more safeties are they going to go after in the 2020-26 or 2026 class? That would be the question mark there. But if indeed Caldwell stays at the safety, you got Santa, you got Johnson. We'll see if they can get Clapper. If not, myself, I really like Roper. I like I like Sibley. I think they can get either one of those guys if they wanted them. If they really put the pressure on those guys to come to Ohio State. And it's always good to continue to keep some of those pipelines open to Hollywood, Florida, the Chaminade Madonna Prep, and Buford High School in Buford, Georgia, where they've had great success recruiting former players who are on the current team and who have been on the team before from those high schools. So you kind of keep an eye on that as well, guys. All right. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think down in the comments section below. Who do you want to see him get? Do you think Storm Klein's out of the question like I do? Um, do you also agree with me that Clapper's better than Klein? I would love to know what you think about that. Are we indeed going to get Sincere Johnson? Do you think that that's a done deal? Do you think he's going to be a Buckeye? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And out of the four guys not from the state of Ohio, which one interests you the most as well? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you're interested in learning more about how we come up with our recruiting rankings and our Buckeye Leafs, we don't hand out stars, we hand out Buckeye Leafs when the kids commit to Ohio State. Make sure you become a member. It only costs $3.99 a month. It's only less than a cup of coffee from Starbucks to be a member of the OHIO podcast. It helps keep us going. We really do appreciate your support, and if indeed you decide to do that, and if you become a member, guys, you will get access to all of these highlight videos that we have done videos on for every one of these guys. Chris and I have broken down their highlight film. We've talked about them. We've talked about their recruitment, and we've given them a score or a ranking based off, like I said, the 5 criteria that we give a recruit when they commit to Ohio State. Want to learn more about that? Become a member. Only costs $3.99. Just hit the join button right below this video on our channel. Go to the OHIO Podcast YouTube channel, hit the join button, put in your credit card, only $3.99 a month. That's it. And you'll get all of that information plus so much more. Don't forget, if you become a member, you'll get a free official OHIO Podcast member t shirt after the second installment, after your second month installment of payment installment. And you'll be, once we have your email address, you will get our, our huge, I think, award-winning Ohio State season preview magazine, absolutely free online. You'll get a code, you can access it in the magazine, and everybody loved it last year. This will be our second edition in 2025. You'll get that absolutely free for just being a member. It's about a $40 value. You get absolutely 100% free as long as you are a paying member of the OHIO podcast. So, all of that are some of the perks. Plus, we do giveaways for our members as well. Sometimes we just do giveaways on a show and all of that great stuff. So please consider doing that. And one last thing, as always, guys, um, don't forget about our huge fan appreciation tailgate this Saturday at the Shoe, just south of French Fieldhouse, over by the bike path. We have it circled right there. We have it circled. That's where we're going to be located. You can come and find Chris, myself, meet us. Some former Buckeyes are going to be there to sign some autographs. We're going to have prizes, food, and we're doing it before and after the game. Chris and I are going to go into the Horseshoe about noon, and then after the game's over, we're going to come right back. We're going to grill some hot dogs. We're going to have a great time, everybody, so don't miss that. Absolutely. If you're coming to the game, you might as well swing by and meet us. And don't forget, bring a donation, a slightly used children's book or a new one, or a financial donation if you're willing to donate to Second and Seven to fight illiteracy here in the state of Ohio and beyond. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Have a great hump day, everybody. May God bless you. Remember, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH. Sing Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Till the next time, go Bucks.